Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update, sponsored by Tax Network USA, America's #1 choice for tax resolution. Please go to tnusa.com/bill or call 800-245-6000. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. It is Monday, May 13th, 2024. Here's what's happening today in America. Biden doubles down. Trump rally. Seinfeld walkout. And living on the roof. It's all coming up. And Bill's going to be here with your message of the day. But first, the Biden White House continues to say they will not support an Israeli military operation in the southern city of Rafah without a, quote, credible plan to protect civilians, even though the enemy is intentionally hiding behind civilians. Our Secretary of State Blinken said, what we've been clear about is that if Israel launches this major military operation into Rafah, then there are certain systems that we're not going to be supporting and supplying for that operation. Heard a great line yesterday from Douglas Murray. He said, no one tells Ukraine, don't win too much, like they do Israel. Fareed Zakaria, who is no fan of Trump, said that although the polls are not always accurate, they tend to underestimate Donald Trump's support. I doubt there are many shy Biden voters in the country. He was citing two polls in particular, one about who can better handle immigration, 57% for Trump, only 22% for Biden. And in general, who's more competent and effective? Back June of 2020, 47 Biden, 38 Trump. But now it's 48 Trump and only 32 Biden. That means Trump at his lowest 4 years ago was still 6 points ahead of where Biden is right now when people are asked who's more competent and effective. Jerry Seinfeld gave the commencement address at Duke University, and some student protesters walked out holding the Palestinian flag. They were met with some loud boos, though. Jerry Seinfeld always remains pretty quiet about everything outside of comedy, but he did make some comments supporting Israel. His wife has donated money to pro-Israeli groups, and they both went to Israel after October 7th to meet with the families of hostages. Jerry's wife said, this was my 5th visit to Israel, and I've never seen a more unified country. A woman was found living on the roof of a grocery store in Michigan. On top of the store, they had a large triangular sign, 15 feet long, 5 feet wide, 8 feet tall. At the highest point, this woman had flooring, a computer and printer, and a Keurig coffee machine. She's been living there for a year. And they still don't know how she kept getting up on the roof undetected every day. I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith, the great Bill O'Reilly with your message of the day. Next.
Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Monday, as you know, I am a judgmental guy, no surprise. I think that comes from my Irish Catholic background, but I try to be very fair before making any judgments about people. But I can make this opinion known. Bad parenting in America may be at an all-time high, and the kids are suffering grievously. So what is bad parenting? Well, first of all, the obvious. If you abuse children, you're a bad parent. If you intoxicate yourself in front of them, that's terrible parenting. If you don't care what your kids do, that's child neglect. If you don't pay attention to their schooling, if you don't affirm learning in the home, if you don't have discipline in the home where they have to follow rules, then you're a bad parent across the board. Now, baby boomers like me were raised by parents who were, let's say, harsh because they went through the Depression, World War II, a lot of cycles that influenced their psychology. You remember the old adage, spare the rod, spoil the child. Well, that's a bunch of garbage. I've never hit my kids. I wouldn't even think of hitting them. And I very rarely even yelled at them. And the times that I did were a mistake. But there was discipline in my home. And the kids had to perform responsibly. And that is the key to good parenting. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Now let's go to the mail. Sean Ryan, Green Bay, Wisconsin. In your morning edition, you blame the absence of critical thinking by partisans as people believing what they want to believe. Okay? You recently cited a study revealing a sharp decline of Americans' religious affiliations. Isn't it logical to assume that many people will make ideology their religion? Yeah, I mean, we live in a secular country, and if you don't have a background in religion, if your parents aren't teaching you about faith, then you're not going to have it. And more parents are derelict in that regard. Dr. James DeMaio, Carl Place, New York. Hey, Bill, I remember you saying something about a Rocky Mountain trip that you have to see. I would like to know where you recommend going out there because I have a week this summer. Now, doctor, usually I would not answer this question in the mail segment, but because I want to do a commercial for concierge membership, I'm going to answer your question. So I get tons of travel questions from concierge members on BillO'Reilly.com, and I give them the best advice. Save them money, save them time, all of that. Because I've been to 86 countries, and I've been to every state. So if you are going to go out to the Rocky Mountains and you have a week, I go to Yellowstone, I base in Jackson, and then I go up to Montana. Doesn't really matter where you stay in Montana. All the cabins and stuff like that, pretty much the same. That's a stunning trip. You'll have a blast. My tip is, if you go in the summer when it's crowded, you got to start early. You got to get up 6:30, get your breakfast, get out. Because by 10, 11, hordes. But the Northern Rockies, fabulous. Bitter roots, great. In a moment, something you might not know. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 107 years ago today, children in rural Portugal reported visions of the Virgin Mary. The miracle inspired millions of Christians during the final months of World War I. Here is the story. On May 13, 1917, Lucia dos Santos, age 9, and her cousins Francisco and Jacinto, 8 and 6, were tending sheep in the village of Fatima, about 70 miles north of Lisbon. In the fields, the three say they experienced visions of a woman surrounded by blinding light. The figure identified herself as, quote, the Lady of the Rosary. She promised to reappear on the 13th day of each month. Well, word of the event quickly spread to other villages. In October 1917, a crowd of 70,000 gathered on the spot where the kids received their first vision, or so they said. At 2 p.m., the crowd began to see what later became known as the miracle of the sun. A torrential downpour suddenly ceased. The blinding sun emerged for 10 minutes. The bizarre phenomena created unusual colors that were witnessed 25 miles away. Now, that occurrence was officially acknowledged by the Vatican in 1930. 2 of the 3 children who initially saw the Virgin Mary did not live long. Today, their fate is known as the Fatima curse. Both Francisco and Jacinto died during the global flu pandemic of 1919. They were canonized as saints by Pope Francis in 2017 to coincide with the 100th anniversary of their vision. Lucia became a nun and lived until the age of 97. And here's something else you might not know about Fatima. Our Lady reportedly delivered 3 messages about the 20th century. All have come true. According to the church, she warned the children of another world war, the rise and fall of communism, and the assassination attempt against Pope John Paul II. Back after this. Your safety is important, and I am happy to introduce you to Byrna, a self-defense solution that will help keep you and your family safe. Byrna offers a powerful, non-lethal pistol with tear gas, pepper, irritants, and kinetic projectiles that disable attackers for 30 to 40 minutes. It's all legal in every state, and no background checks are required. And they ship directly to your door, very private. They are American-made in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and are trusted by U.S. government agencies and hundreds of police departments. If you are a gun owner, you need options. Avoid the complexities that come with taking a life and having to defend your freedom in court. And if you're adverse to firearms, Byrna is a good alternative solution. So please visit Byrna.com/Bill to receive a 10% discount. That's BYRNA.com/Bill. Stay safe with Byrna. Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.